Hello, everyone. The today topic that I'm going to present is the counting the number of people in this retail outlet or any particular venue using the capability of the Power Platform, especially with the object detection in the AI Builder. So before we start into the session, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Lin. I'm a Microsoft Business Application MVP. I'm currently working as a technical architect at the Delta Insights. I'm based in the Wellington, New Zealand. And I started my career with the Dynamics 365, like most of the Rami and some of the previous presenters. And then I get into the Power Automate Cloudflows to automate the things instead of the classic workflows. And then I also start building things in the Canvas app. So these are three of my main focus area in this Power Platform. And when I'm not working, sometimes I just do the community contribution by blogging and participating, answering forum questions and speaking in the conference like this. So if you like to see my blog, it's my full name .blogspot.com. And also my Twitter is just also my full name where I post things related to Power Platform and stuff. While I'm not doing any of these stuff, any non-Power Platform related things, I'm just chilling at home, playing games and like watching anime. So you know what topic we can talk to if you ever see me in the conference or user group. So today's agenda is we'll start off with the problem, why we needed this solution in the first place, and what is the overview of the solution that I came up with. And I'm going to demo and run through this whole solution. And only after that, I'll just go step by step how the back end of the solution, how it was designed, and how I connect all these things together. And we'll just conclude with a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any question regarding the solution that I've built, if you're not familiar with all these technologies, or if there are any steps that I missed out, you can just ask me any question. So the main problem which right now in the COVID situation is in the red light in New Zealand, that's currently in the red light restriction. According to the framework, the retails can be opened, and even if in the red light situation, but the number of people allowed at the retail is depending on how large the venue of this retail is. So technically, you have this. If you have a really small shop, retail store, you can only accommodate maybe 15 or 25 people number of, depending on the size of your venue. And in that way, people can do the social distancing and shop safely. But it will be that will be a hard. Let's imagine like this scenario: you have to keep someone at the entrance to make sure that the number of people in the store is not exceeding than the number of maximum number of occupancy. So in that case, you have to either like keep one of your staff, do nothing else, then just make sure it's people are just following, and or you have to hire another one, and that's going to be additional overhead costs. Imagine if even if you hire someone with a minimum wage, it would be $20 per hour, or even $21.20 in after this April. So this solution is to just build with the Power Apps Canvas app. So this is the first one. The first component of the solution is the Power Apps camera, which is I presented back in the previous last year Global Power Platform Bootcamp. So I will share the screen of how to build that camera at the end of this presentation. So I'm not going to go into detail into that, but in the briefly, what it does is it just take a picture periodically and it uploads into the SharePoint. So it is not just RF's camera. You can also use any of your existing CCTV and all these cameras as long as it uploads the photo periodically to the SharePoint. And there's another component, which is the AI Builder object detection model, which will count the number of people with the object detection and to tell how many people in the photo at the moment. And there's the Cloudflow that is the glue to all these components, which is not triggering on upload of a new photo into the SharePoint folder. And then it calls the AI Builder and check how many numbers of people, and it updates back. And the last component is also another Canvas app, which you can install as like a tablet at the entrance of the store and shows what is the number of people in the store at the moment and whether people can enter or they need to wait, or they can only enter one of the people can enter, something like that. Okay, so let's start the demo about this solution. So I'm just going to demo it, and it starts from the the first component of taking the photo. So I don't have the CCTV camera, or I don't have any number of people in the room. So what I will do is I will just have the screenshot of the CCTV camera footage of our store. And as you can see, there's a timer. We'll take a photo at the 5 minutes, and then it will take another photo. So it's basically just like taking a photo. Okay. So just now it took 2 photos. And what it will do is it will just upload those 2 photos in over here just now. So see, it says 2 photo with a timestamp, with the current timestamp. And there is a count column, the integer column that I just created. And this count column, I will just close this to share my camera. Okay, nice. So I've just added a count column of this integer, and there's a flow that will call and updates the number of people over here. See, these are the 2 photos that I updated just now, and now there's like number of 3 people, and later another second photo is the number of 4 people. So these are updated automatically backend with the Power Automate Cloudflow using the AI Builder. And here's the last bit where you have the display app, the tablet that you can install at the entrance of the app, the store. With this one, you can just show, see, this is the number 4. So this is actually just picking up the last uploaded documents in the SharePoint folder and pick up this count number 4, and it just shows it over there. So if, let's say, if it is 25 Rand, if it is reaching to 21, from green to change to amber, and shows is we're getting busy, we can only accommodate 4 more customers. And if you're exceeding, let's say, like 25 people, so it's a full capacity right now. So appreciate your patience. So this is the idea for the customers to check out the display and whether they can enter and or they can only enter part of the group based on the number of people in the store. So that's the whole solution. In demo, walk through about the solution, and I will explain briefly about what I have built in the solution. So for the camera app, I am not going to go into details because it was the solution from the last year session. So what I'll do is, instead of sharing, I will just share the slides step by step how to build this camera app. So it's basically just there's a timer and the camera component. The only main key component is on the timer end. It uploads the file to the SharePoint library. So this is the Power Automate Cloudflow. It calls the Power Automate Cloudflows and concatenate the timestamp and upload it. So this is updating this camera stream. So this is the Cloudflow that is uploading into the SharePoint. So in the sorry, there's some noises in the background. So there are some the file and the file contents accepted by the Cloudflow, and it is creating in the SharePoint, the SharePoint create file step, which is quite basic. The only thing to be aware is it needs the data coming from the Canvas apps is coming as the data URI, the base64. So it needs to be converted into the binary, and then it just stores over there. So that's where the photo taken from this app flows through this Cloudflow, and it is uploaded over here. And what is after that? Once the file is uploaded, there's a Cloudflow, another Cloudflow to count the number of people in this image. So when the file is created, it will just call the people detection AI model. That's I just built. I'll explain later how you can build one by yourself by feeding in the file content of the image. And this part is just to update the number of people from the prediction results. So in the prediction of results, it comes with a response v2 and the prediction outputs and the results. So it counts the number of people. So if the AI model builds count as just 2 people, we just show as the 2. And the SharePoint update properties step is a little bit tricky. You cannot update it with the name of the file. It accepts the ID. But for this stage, we only have the name of the file. So there's then one additional step, the send HTTP request, just to get the ID, just to get the ID of this particular SharePoint file. Okay, so I'll show you how you can build your own AI model just like that. So if you go to the make.powers.com, go to the models. So once you build your own model, and there's a detect custom objects in images. So this is, you can get sign up for the trial that lasts for 30 days, and you can just play around with it. So the first step is for you to upload like 15 different images of the objects that you want to detect, right? There are different ways you can detect. One is the common objects, like similar to the ones that we want to do, or there are, if you want to do the scanning of the retail shelves or even the brand logos. So those are specific models that you can choose. So we'll just go with the common objects. So let's call the core object like the person. Okay, so we'll just count the people, and it says you need to add at least 15 images for each object you want to detect. And so you can either upload it from SharePoint or Azure Blob, or for me, I just downloaded all these CCTV footages from the Google just to train. So now I uploaded 17 images. Okay, so now once you've uploaded, what you can do is you go to each and every image, and you tag the object that you want to identify. Sometimes it shows some suggestion if it detects like this white, the dotted lines, but sometimes it doesn't really detect well. In that case, you have to just, like for example, this one, it can detect really well. So just click on it and click a person. But for the example, this one, it doesn't detect one. It has a really big white square rectangle, so it just do the manual tagging. So you just do go on and do it for each and all 15 images. So minimum is 15. Until you have done the 15, it wouldn't let you to go and train. So I'm not going to go through all 15 because it will take some time. So, but at the end of the 15, you has an option to like train this model. So you can wait for some time, and once it's trained, you will see your model will show the score, like performance score, how confident, how it's going to work. So if it is your images, you only uploaded 15 images, and you only detect one object an image, probably you might have a lower performance. So what you can do is you can edit the model, upload more photos, and tag more objects. So then you will get a higher performance. So let's try to do the test before we. So this is the test images, which were not part of the training images. So here, what you can see is it detects the object and its confidence level. So it thinks that 81% confident that this is the object that I want to see. So if you're based in your Power Automate, instead of just counting all the objects, you can also count based on the confidence level. So maybe you can count if the confidence level is 30% or higher. So in that way, you get the more accurate number. In case if it is counting the different, not counting the, if it is counting like some other object, right? So this is the not really perfect scenario. Like you just need to train more and more images to have a better accurate results. So for example, in this image, you're missing out this person behind the counter. So because it couldn't contact it as it couldn't recognize it as a person. And so for example, let's say this one. So it's also here it can count 4 people, but not this person on the right hand side. So I just want to show it in this demo because so that you need what you can do is you have to have more and more sample size and training for your AI builder model to work more perfectly. But even with the 17 percent 17 images, it managed to work for 95% of the scenarios that I tested. So this is how you count and build the AI model. And this is from where you call this AI model from the Cloudflow in the back end. So what is updated counts the number of people. It updates it back to the SharePoint column. And this is the app that is calling the showing it. So here, this is just the normal text box. It just show the variable, the count, and if the count is based on the number, it shows the different messages. If it is more than 25, it shows red and then the orange and so on. So this is also the circle that shows the traffic light. So there's one hidden timer here. This is the calling the triggering the flow. This is running every 10 seconds to call the flow and update this counter number at this over here. So on timer start, it is simple flow. It's just calling this, setting this global count variable with this the number value coming from the Power Automate. So this is also very simple. When it calls from Power Apps, it just go and retrieves the top last one where ordered by the created descending. So it just retrieved the last document uploaded in this folder, and it just respond. So it's all of the Cloudflows are very simple, and all of the building training this AI model is also relatively simple, and there's also not much component in this Canvas apps either. So that's what I just want to showcase. With these simple solutions, you can have something valuable out of it, and that will replace the manual unnecessary cost to the business. So I have placed the chat, the link to download the solution. So if you import the solution zip file, it comes with all these Canvas app, Cloudflows, and the AI Builder model. And also this is not used anymore. So that's part of it. If you are interested in to seeing this another kind of this AI model and count the number of people, Hamish, one of the speakers in this conference, he has also had a blog post and a video about how he counts number of people in the gym for attendance. So you can also check it out. Okay, if you have any questions, we have 6 minutes, and feel free to ask. I'll go through the chat.
Awesome session, Linn. The demo is really amazing. Like I never thought to use it like that, and I never thought of using my camera as the CCTV spoofer, if you want. But yeah, really good sort of scenario, very valid for the current state, and really good to see how easy it is to sort of put it all together. There was a few questions sort of in the chat. One from Omar saying, is this built using the object detection AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. This is sort of, yeah, go ahead.
No, as I mentioned, showed in the demo, yeah, it is using the object detection model of the AI builder.
Thanks, Len.
Awesome.
Apologies. I put that question up as soon as you open up the
Yeah.
make.power apps. Apologies. Thanks.
Well, good. And it's good just to sort of iterate some of those technologies, so just so that people know sort of where does it fit and sort of what is the capability that is available in there. There was another question by Henry, and he's asking, can you add the missing person from the quick test without having to go back to the start to train?
It's not possible at the moment because there's no option to start and train at the model. So if we have to add that missing person, you have to like go through the whole process of edit model. But from edit model, we don't have to upload the previous images, or all the images, and detection is still intact. We just have to enhance and train more by just only uploading one additional image.
Yeah. Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. I guess AI is deterministic, so it's not necessarily going to give you 100% accuracy, but it will be sort of good enough to do the majority of the work for you. And the more it learns, the more accurate it gets. That's great to hear. Any other questions from the audience?
Yeah.
No?
So
it's looking good. So we got it. Okay, yeah, here you go. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, yeah, I wouldn't tell that that's a person. I would think like it's a spirit or something. It gets into those situations where it becomes really tricky, like even for a human being to be able to detect sort of an object or a person. But in general, I think accuracy is becoming really strong and capable. I don't know if you have any, have you used it in a sort of production environment, Lynn, where you can sort of use the AI builder, not necessarily just object detection, but maybe like form recognition and OCR and things like that?
Not in the production environment. Well, in my work or any customer client, but for me personally, I use the form detection. That is one of my personal projects to scan through my bank statements and credit card statements and then extract all the transactions and input it in the data into my diverse environments to do my daily monthly accounting and financial stuff.
And has really improved over the years, where now they can do it across multiple pages as well, and it's getting really better at detecting sort of tabular formats and labels and so on. And over the last couple of years, we've seen it change quite a lot. And just between conferences, like if there's 6 months apart and I'm doing the same presentation on AI, I noticed that whatever I did before is not relevant anymore because it has moved on and they've improved the way it works and so on. So that's really good to hear. All right, well, thank you very much, Lynn. That was an awesome session. I think you got a lot of positive feedback on sort of what an awesome demo that was. So feel free, guys, to reach out to Lynn if you have questions, and he's demos available out there so you can download them and start using them. Otherwise, we're just going to break for lunch now, and then we'll see you back at 1 o'clock. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.